guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're good. I hope you're amazing. If you're new here, welcome to the space. If you've been here, thank you for just staying and being consistent. My name is Usikelelwa, and today we're going to be speaking about an important topic to me, and something that I navigated myself, and something that I'm busy navigating even right now. But when we were speaking with my friend, I remember we had this conversation and we were speaking about it, so I wanted to share, you know, around this conversation. But let me say, please subscribe, like, and comment down below if you've struggled or if you feel like you understand what I'm talking about. So today we're gonna be talking about prayer as Christians, the way we talk to God, the channel in which that we relate to God, because obviously we can't see God, we can't touch God, but we can definitely speak to him. And it's been very complicated, the way that religion on many things, that it has made things seem so difficult, or as if there's a way and a how to do things rather. And sometimes it makes us not be able to speak to God, because we're like, oh, if I have to pray like this, then I'm not sure I can, because if I try, then I just stop in my tracks and I don't know what to say and I don't know how to say it, and then it becomes all complicated and I just stop. Which is then why the devil would actually want us to get confused around prayer, because he wants us to stop praying. Because if you stop praying, it's like communication. If you stop communicating with your friends, with your husband, with anyone, then there's obviously that relationship will suffer, or obviously that relationship won't be as strong. And yeah, I just came here to tell you the way that I do things. It's not like the way that I'm saying you should do things, but maybe try it out and see for yourself, and what I've found out about prayer. And obviously just, yeah, tell you and encourage you to pray more and how to pray more, and break down the myth of actually praying in a certain way, or that God doesn't accept or doesn't listen to certain prayers. I maybe want to start and say that Jesus himself, obviously in Matthew, taught us how to pray. To pray that the kingdom come, to pray for our daily bread. And that is just maybe the blueprint, you know. It's things that we need to cover in our prayers, that God provides for us, our daily bread, whether it's a job, whether it's, you know, and ask for forgiveness also for our sins, and for him to help us not to be tempted beyond our measures. So it's something like that, but it doesn't mean that you will say it that way that Jesus said it in the Bible. Like, you will repeat the same prayer, like our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You know, you can, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but obviously when we do it like that, then people feel like I don't even identify. It's like a by the way thing, you know. I'm just doing this thing, I'm just praying because I have to pray, and I have to pray this way. So I think Jesus was telling us like what to cover. And so, for example, if I'm praying for my daily bread, I say, thank you, Father, for my job. Thank you that you provided a wonderful job that I can go to work and be able to feed my family, you know. So that's like daily bread covered, you know. And maybe for temptation or whatever the case may be, I speak on a personal thing that, God, I see myself being tempted with my finances. I see myself being tempted with things of the world and things that won't build me up. Yes, things that I need, but things that won't build me up. And so I just want you to help me not be tempted beyond my measure. And if I need forgiveness, I speak about certain things that, God, I know that today this is what happened and I didn't represent, you know, your character, and that means I'm lacking in some way. So please cover me and help me to be able to forgive others first, because then this is the same measure that I forgive others, is the same measure that God will forgive me. And so I ask him, okay, Father, help me be able to forgive others, and therefore please forgive me for my mistakes in the same measure that I forgive others. you know. So I know that Jesus has a way that he told us how to pray, but I think in our day and age, to make it personal, you know, because as you grow in relationship with someone, you don't certainly speak the way, like maybe someone, the blueprint saying, okay, if this is your husband, this is how you speak to your husband. If this is your friend, this is how you speak to your friend. What we do rather do is to say, okay, fine, this is my friend, this is how I'm supposed to speak to her. But you have your own ways and your own feels as you go on. So I want to encourage, maybe if you're starting and you really want to get into the prayer thing and you're not comfortable yet, but maybe repeat what Jesus, you know, said we should do, that our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, and try to understand, why do you want his kingdom to come? What is it about his kingdom that makes you feel like it should come? So when you say thy kingdom come, because I know that when you are here, we're gonna live in peace, in pure peace. There won't be sin anymore, there won't be death anymore, there won't be crime, and there won't be, you know, sickness anymore. That's why I want your kingdom to come. So, you know, you're just personalizing that. And I just also wanted to encourage you, if you feel like you don't identify with the formality of things, like, you know, kneeling and for prayer, or I don't know, you know, certain things, raising up your hands for prayer. I mean, I just wanted to say that in the Bible itself, people were lying down in bed and praying, people were on the floor praying, people were standing and praying. There's a lots of ways in which you can get into prayer. So if you're not comfortable with maybe kneeling and doing it in front of people, you can do it while lying down. You can do it when you're moving around in your day. Just maybe start speaking to God in your heart, not even out loud, but in your own heart. So you might obviously not be comfortable with, you know, the traditional or the strict way of praying, or you're trying to start out this prayer thing, and I would advise that you just start and you just speak the way that I speak. For example, is that, yeah, but I've gotten comfortable now with God in everything, but I want to tell you that you don't have to be like, all you have to do is give him reverence. So reverend him, he's like a father. So obviously, okay, but not like a worldly father, because I know some fathers are very strict. You can't speak to your father like as a friend or whatever, but I know that the father that he is a father that can allow you to speak out your mind and say, God, I'm very confused. I know you say in your word that we should act like this, but I don't feel like acting like that. I don't even feel empowered to start acting like that. I don't see these promises. And so, for example, when your parent or someone close to you passes away and you're really feeling some type of way, God is not expecting you to be like, Heavenly Father, I trust and I know, but you're not feeling that personally. Yes, we trust and we know, but if you are not feeling that personally, you can tell him and say, you know, God, today I'm not feeling this. I know in your word that you say that everything that happens to us is for our own good, and you will resurrect. You don't like, you know, you're not a liker of wrong. You're not an advocate for hurt and pain, but I just want to tell you that I don't understand how you could be watching like what's happening, and God will answer you. God has answers, guys. That's all I want to tell you. That don't be afraid to ask God in prayer, and anyway of anything, he will answer you, because he has the answers, and his answers will blow your mind. So even in prayer, you need to just get comfortable and say, and start where you are. Really start where you are, because God, one thing about God is that he meets us where we are. So he doesn't need you to start acting like, okay, now I'm all powerful, so I'm gonna be speaking like I don't know who. You don't need to even pray like your pastor. You don't even need to pray like your friend who's had a relationship with Christ forever. All you need to do is just, you know, understand that I'm here and say, God, this is where I am. I'm going to start praying. I don't know what to say, but let me just see. And my friend and I shared like a powerful sentiment where she said, okay, Sike, I think what I will then do is to write down the things that are in my mind, the things that I'm worried about, the things I'm grateful about, the things that I really want to inquire God about, maybe on a piece of paper, and then I'll start on there to say, today I'm going to pray about point A, so that I don't get into the thing and then I get stuck and I don't know what to say, you know. So what I'll do is to actually find, you know, a little I'll find a little rhythm, and I'll find out, okay, what do I want to pray for today? And that's what I'll be speaking to God about that certain day. And that's a good starting point, because at least you have something that you want to talk to God about, and you can talk to him any way you want to talk to him about, so long as you're not, I don't know, using vulgar language or whatever. But you can do whatever, because God understands your heart, and from where you are, he can then project from there and say, okay. Because at some point that I was asking, and I throw tantrums sometimes, I'm like, no, there's no way you are here if this and this is happening. And then he shows me a movie of how he was there all the time. Like, he shows me that, dude, remember? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, sorry, Father, like, it's my bad, because it's really always our bad with God and stuff, because he's so wonderful and he's all powerful, and our minds cannot capture him enough or to understand how big he is. So I just wanted to say that start where you are and really get into it, and, you know, speak the way you speak. God understands that I speak like this, so I don't change the way I speak. Previously I would want to sound like my mom. I would want to sound like someone who's advanced in their faith. I would want to sound different, because I'm like, okay, if I have to pray to this guy, then this means that I have to speak like this. But I found that it's not authentic, because even with your friends you don't do that. Even with your parents you don't do that. When you speak to your parents, you speak the way you speak. And yeah, and that's how wonderful God has been to me, that he showed me that I actually want you to speak the way that you speak. So sometimes I'm like, hey, my guy, I don't know, dear Father, I don't know what's going on. I really am confused, but I'm gonna stay confused with you, and I will wait for your answer. And he really does find, I feel him when I speak to him like that, and I'm not faking anything. Then I'm real with him to say, I'm really excited about a certain thing. I hope I don't get disappointed. And when I am disappointed, I come to him and I'm like, yo, I'm disappointed, but I know it might be my view, but I just want to tell you the true feelings, that I'm actually disappointed about this thing, and I don't feel like facing the world. I don't feel like going and, and being and sharing whatever that I need to share. I don't want to do it. And he will give me the strength, because that's when he comes in and he tells me that, dude, I understand you feel like this, but let me show you why it didn't work this time. And sometimes it doesn't show you then, he can show you later, but you get to understand, and you always go back to him and say, now I get it. I get why that happened like that. And it's just a conversation. Sometimes you cry to him as a father, sometimes you have good news for him, like as a friend, you just want to speak to him as a friend. Sometimes he's really like your only person, you're confident, your therapist, your coach, where you really sit there and you say, God, I need coaching, I don't understand. And I still remember this sermon that I was listening to, asking, who is God to you? Who is he to you? Is he really the person that you say? Is he really the rock? Because if he is the rock, then you don't build on anything else, you build on him. If he is your friend, then why are you not telling him stuff? If he is your father, why are you not asking him for advice? And the way that we ask him for advice is through prayer and speaking to him and having a conversation with him. If there's one thing I want you to take from this video, is that not to do what I'm telling you to do, or to follow what I have said here, because I'm sharing my own sentiments, but I want you to start talking to God the way that you feel, the way that he moves you to talk to him. I don't know, you can start singing and speak to him, or you can just stand there and right now say, God, I need you, or God, I want to speak to you more. I don't understand how, I don't know how. Sometimes I feel like there's a knot in my chest that's saying that I shouldn't actually speak to you, because it doesn't seem like you listen to me. And let's see what God does for you. Just comment down below if you've had a struggle with prayer, and how you have journeyed with prayer, how it started with you and how it's going right now, and what did you do. You educate me as I'm also trying to share, and just tell me how it worked with you, what works for you, what doesn't work, and what worship music do you listen to? Worship music when you're praying? Do you stand outside? What do you do to pray? And yeah, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe and like, and let's share, man. Let's share how we can make this Christian walk easier and helpful for the rest of us. I hope to see you next time. Bye.